In 2020, I played a game called Celeste. It is a simple game about running, jumping, air dashing, and most importantly, it's about climbing a mountain. The gameplay is fast and fluid and gets more intricate and complex as the game goes on. It actually becomes a very difficult game. On top of that, it contains a very beautiful story filled with small but incredibly unique cast of characters. But for the scope of this video, I am just going to talk about the central character Madeline and her anxious alter ego Battleline, and how their story teaches an important lesson about self-doubt and unpredictability, and how we should cope and deal with them. Alright, so I'll try to sort of summarize the story a little bit here. You play as Madeline, a young woman who is trying to climb the Celeste mountain without any prior training or experience of it. But what she does have is the will to do it, and that's important. That's all that it takes. She wants to climb the mountain to get rid of her anxiety, nervousness, and feelings of self-doubt, which we all have from time to time. These same feelings that she has manifest into sort of an evil version of herself called Battleline. Battleline constantly provokes her, telling her that you cannot climb the mountain, you would be unable to, you ain't a mountain climber. And Madeline initially rejects this version of herself, trying to move past it, trying to forget it, but it keeps dragging Madeline back down. She cannot make peace with this anxious part of herself, and as a result she fails to climb the mountain again and again and again. Then she realizes that the only way forward is to work together. That's when she finally confronts the anxious part of herself in what is an amazing segment represented through phenomenal gameplay. She makes peace with her, unlocking her true potential, which is like a triple jump mechanism in the game. Essentially, you are able to do the air dash twice. This part is again represented in the gameplay. The first time you meet, you are running away from her. The second time you encounter Battleline, you're running towards her, trying to reconcile with her. The way that they have represented this was just phenomenal. I really love that. With Madeline reconciled with her anxious part, she finally makes the final stretch of the mountain, which is to reach the absolute summit. Here on the mountain, Madeline and her anxious alter ego have a conversation. It is the final conversation of the game, where Madeline reflects on how far she has come and how the journey brought out the best in her. And the anxious part still is worried. It keeps on asking what comes next, but Madeline is at peace. She says that she'll see about all of that later. Right now she just wants to enjoy the view of the mountaintop. I think you now know what I'm getting at. I feel like this year made a lot of people nervous about what the future holds. With good reason. It was an unpredictable year after all. But instead of letting that paralyze you, Celeste taught me to accept that. Accepting that a certain level of self-doubt and nervousness will always exist. And the way to overcome it was not to run away from it, but to accept that it will exist. And it will keep on existing. Work in tandem with it in order to sort of maximize your own potential. Some things will always be out of our control, but we should always keep trying to put our best foot forward so that we can ultimately climb our own individual mountains. And that entire story and that entire message is the highlight of Celeste.